All right, number 3, Texas versus 12, Oklahoma. This is the Red River Rivalry. Last time we saw this game, Oklahoma didn't score. Texas scored 49.
Yeah.
The spread's Texas minus 5.5.
Yeah, that won't happen again. Dillon Gabriel was out last year. A lot of anomalies. Obviously, it's not going to happen again.
Dillon Gabriel was out, but Dillon Gabriel doesn't make up for 49 points given up.
No, I agree, but I think this is a better Oklahoma team.
Yeah.
And I would also say it's a better Texas team. Don't get me wrong, but there's a reason the spread is 5.5, right?
100%.
My winner is going to be Texas, but I think it's going to be close. I think they're actually not going to cover. I'm going to take a kind of something last second, maybe not last second, but a one possession close game. I think this is where you'll see Oklahoma's receivers and Dillon Gabriel go crazy. I think Texas's defense kind of gets exploited. I think they've kind of been waiting on that. I think Bama could have done it in years past. In other words, it would have had to be Bama, and they weren't going to do it this year with what they have right now. I think Texas's defense is kind of waiting on an exploitation. So I feel really good about Texas. I think they win, but I think this is a shootout.
I don't disagree with the outcome.
Yeah.
Texas minus 5.5. I do like that. I think Texas wins a very close game, shootout potentially. But I think this is actually a big game for Texas's defense. And look, I feel really, really good about Oklahoma. I have them in my top 10. Like they made their first appearance in my top 10 power ratings this week. But we both have Texas higher. We base it off favorability. So of course we're both taking Texas.
Right.
That being said, you go back to that Alabama game in week 2. Alabama turned it over twice. It was those 2 interceptions. Texas scored both times. They're really good about taking advantage of other teams' mistakes. So I think if Oklahoma has to play a perfect game to win, Texas doesn't.
No, I agree.
I think Texas can afford to screw up once or twice. You can't screw up all game. And
not against
win.
Oklahoma.
Not in a game of this caliber. But I think they can afford I think they can afford 1 or 2 mistakes. Oklahoma can afford 0.
I agree. I look to see Quinn Ewers being the mistakes, and that's kind of my thing. Like, I think they do make mistakes. That's why I think this game stays close. But 100% agree. I think they can afford to make a couple of mistakes, and I think they do. And Oklahoma keeps it close with Texas being a small victor.
Yeah.
In a big game.
Yeah. I will say, I'm going to go back to your favorite poll, the ESPN's FPI. They still have Oklahoma at the number 2 overall team in that football power index with a, let's see.
52 was it?
52% chance to make the playoff, meaning they either would beat Texas today or Saturday or just win the Big 12 outright in the championship game, likely against Texas.
Again.
Yeah. So that's an interesting thought. If they lose today, or I keep saying today, if they lose Saturday and both find their way in the championship, that gets really interesting for Texas.
Yeah. So
they also have Texas at number 4 in that same poll. So
yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Where do they have Texas there? With a what % chance?
They have them at 4 with a 50% chance. So it's a toss-up.
So they're saying these are toss-ups.
Yeah.
You know what that probably means?
It means whoever loses on Saturday, they think goes.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I was getting at. They think they split, and whoever loses Saturday ends up winning.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. It's funny we read that the same way.